Mr. DJ Rose, Verkeezy, and C's. Welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. I'm sure MLK and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap your seatbelt, go and sell our land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell our land. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love us as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.
Black Tears Radio, we back in the building on a hump day, Wednesday. Happy Veterans Day to all the fallen and all the guys that served and protect. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to C, shout out to Juice Man.
Echo that, man. Happy Veterans Day to everybody. It was good seeing everybody's photos, on social media and just everybody out. Hey, it was a couple free meals. Places were packed. I appreciate it. I did get some stuff myself. The vouchers. Some of y'all need to do better with the time frames. Y'all got that messed up. You start basically during lunch hour, so you know it's going to be packed. 11 to 2 is kind of crazy. I'm just saying, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, man, there was a lot of porn stars, man, that they used to be veterans, man. That when they are veterans, that was kind of crazy to see, man. Like Miss Nasty, man, she was posting her picture with her titties out, then posted her in the military. I was like,
it's the reason why she was in the Navy, man.
Yeah, man, that makes sense, man. But hey, man, it all happened in a week, y'all. This week in sports. So we're gonna start off with MLB. We talked about the Dodgers winning the World Series, and they had some great pitching. But apparently, this gambling, fiasco has reached into the baseball world. So federal prosecutors have indicted Cleveland Guardians pitcher Luis Ortiz and all-star pitcher Emmanuel Chase in an alleged gambling scheme to rig bets on games this season. Ortiz was arrested in Boston earlier Sunday, and Chase has yet to still be taken into custody when we, last have talked about this. It's been a lot of stuff going in the gambling world, and I know that I kind of gave my thoughts. I really didn't think baseball would be affected too much because of the contracts, and I just feel like it's so much harder to rig it. I will say this. If you are going to rig it, it feels like the only people that can do it successfully is pitchers. Like that to me, like I don't know how a hitter would rig it because it's almost like you might have struck out anyway. But with pitchers, it's like, yeah, man, you could throw a ball here and a ball there and walk this batter, and you can probably place the ball in the right place and let them hit a home run, but make it seem like you're just having a bad day. Like I could kind of see that happening. But this is just crazy, man, for like people who do prize picks, FanDuel, DraftKings. If you bet the spread, man, like this makes you worried about, is your money safe? Is what you're betting on the up and up? As well as just from a fan's perspective, like let's take gambling out for a second. You want to believe that you're not watching professional wrestling. I'm a big professional wrestling fan, so I know what I'm watching is scripted. You want to believe that what you're watching is actually real and you don't have the outcome already determined. And this just kind of adds to the cadence of, people feeling like, yo, this shit is rigged.
Yo, so what was Snyder Cut, man? What was Dark Side's underling, man? What's his name?
Steppenwolf.
Not the other one that said, I told you so.
I can't remember.
Basically, man, it's what you asked for, man. Like with the surge of betting, like everything, like these gambling is now pretty much legitimized and legalized, where you can bet on pretty much any sport. It's only getting bigger. Everybody sanctions it. Disney, ESPN, it's all sanctioned. Prize Picks, it's all sanctioned. So it's like for people to want to make money on inside and outside the game, of course it's going to be rigged. With pitchers, yes, it's easy, but it's like easily there's a lot of batters that can, they can do a bunt. They can do a bunt. that can do a pop up. It's like, hey man, I need you to make this third pitch a pop up. I need you to get out. It's easy. Yes, it's easier with pitchers. So it's like, if anybody was gonna do it, man, it's easiest bet is pitchers. And it's like, man, I'm not a stickler for gambling. Yes, it is a bad thing, but it's like, eventually you're probably gonna get caught, man. It's like the game's rigged. It's way too much money for people to make that you can't really eradicate it. Or when you get caught, of course, be harsh on it, but it's like you can't really eradicate it, man. It's all money involved, and it's like, who's to say just the freaking games themselves from the refs and the umpires is not rigged itself? So it's like storylines and other shit going on. So I mean, I'm not surprised. It does put a damper on the game, but at the same time, it's like, well, it'll for me, it feels like a problem that'll fix itself. It's just something that's gonna, fix itself.
Yeah, it's gonna be like this for a while. But hey, man, when you gambling, your money is never safe. Only time your money is safe is when you keep it in your pocket.
Very, very, very true. Very, very true. So talking about, people that's not safe. So Tony Allen was arrested this past week, and so was Antonio Brown. C's, what's your thoughts on both of them getting arrested?
Crazy. That's all I got to say, man.
Yeah, I was kind of sad to see that from Tony Allen because, he got this podcast going on. His charges was like drug related, had nothing to do with gambling, my understanding. So I was kind of sad to see that happen to him, because he's got a podcast with, I think, Zach Randolph. It's the Memphis Grizzlies out the mud, and it's pretty entertaining. And Tony Allen is a real nigga. I ain't gonna lie, when I saw these charges, like Rose brings up all the time, there's no longer real niggas in the NBA. Tony Allen is probably one of the last real niggas in the NBA, bro, to be honest, because I watched him play. He was a real nigga. As far as Tony Brown, man, I forgot what his charges were, but his shit was serious enough for him to get extradited.
Attempted murder.
Attempted murder? God damn, yeah. His shit was serious enough where they had to extradite that nigga, man. So, like, I don't know, man. Like, I ain't gonna say he didn't do it. I ain't gonna say he did do it, but
I mean, he is out on bail, so I mean,
if you follow Antonio Brown online and you see the stuff ever since even before he retired, that nigga seemed like a screws loose, man. So anything possible with that nigga.
It was on camera. He did it.
Oh, he did try to kill somebody? What happened?
They was jumping on somebody, or somebody tried to steal something from him, and he started busting at them. It was at the Jake Paul, something with Jake Paul. It was something, some kind of event that he was having, and he started shooting at somebody. Yeah, so during a fight, and so he did it. It's just like, is it really, attempted murder? You know what I'm saying, or to go be self-defense? But yeah, he did it. Like, and Tony Allen, man, shout out to the guy that he was with, the guy that was driving the car, because he was like, man, this is not his stuff. This is all my stuff.
Yeah, that white dude tried to hold it down.
Yeah, he held it down for the most part. And Tony Allen, I can't say he was a real one, because real ones don't cry in front of the police and say, man, I got too much to lose. Please don't take me to jail. Daddy, please. Daddy, please, I'm begging you. So I don't know many real ones doing that. So I don't know.
Hey, that's a good point.
Your definition of real minds is different.
Yeah, I mean, true, man. Hey, man, I'm gonna tell you somebody who is real. Nico Harrison. He made that trade last year for Luka, and then after that trade, no matter how much criticism he took, that nigga stood 10 toes down and said, we are a better team after this trade. And about 10, 12 games into this NBA season, Luka looking like the MVP. He done got in shape. AD has been okay, but Kyrie has been injured. The Mavs don't look great. And the Mavs said, man, get your black ass out of here, man.
But I thought they had the great white hope. You know what I'm saying? The next best thing to sliced bread.
They did have the great white hope. Then they traded him last year.
No, they got him now. So this white hope is, this sliced bread is the butt piece of the bread.
Yeah, this is the butt piece of the bread. This ain't the good middle part now.
Oh, wow.
Hey, man.
I thought that was your man's, though.
Oh, nah, man. This was an idiotic trade.
Hey, Kufay, that's his man's, though.
Did he come from Duke?
Yeah, that's his man's, though.
He came from Duke.
But this was an idiotic trade by Nico, man. When he made this trade last year, we had never seen nothing to this level where it was like, yo, you're gonna trade Luka in his prime for AD who's been constantly hurt. Like everybody thought it was an idiotic trade. I didn't think they would fire him this soon. I thought they would let the year play out to see what happens when Kyrie come back. But hey, Nico, man, you did it to yourself, man. You can't make no trades like this in the NBA, man.
I really want to know whose final call. Like, did upstairs say, yeah, go ahead and do it?
Yeah, from what I heard was they got new ownership. The owner was mad because Dallas didn't want to pay to get a new arena or something. So she threatened to move the team, but then they said she can't move the team. So she said, all right, I can't move the team. Y'all ain't gonna give me what I want. I get rid of the best player.
So it's like final call. I mean, it's scapegoat.
Yeah.
Scapegoat. But at the same time, I would have been like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, it came from the owner. Owner did it, but
wait, if that's the case, you know what Nico does, bro?
What?
But you do with that, man. I don't know his name, bro. He was the general manager of the Giants when Eli was there. He did a story about back in the day when he was the general manager of the Colts when they had the chance to draft John Elway. That nigga drafted John Elway even though the owner traded that nigga later. Because you can't get another job as a general manager after this trade. Even if you tell people this was the owner's decision, it still goes on your resume. So if anything, you just let the owner fire you, bro. You be like, I'm not going to trade Luka, bro. I'll just get fired. Because you got fired anyway.
And then your man's mom was talking shit about Nico also. So Cooper Flagg's mom was talking shit about him being fired. She said she called for him to be fired, so we're talking shit. And then I forgot specifically what Nico said, but he was firing back at the Mavs. So, you know, it was a dumbass trade, but it's like, hey, they're always going to pick a scapegoat, somebody to blame. The Mavs fucking suck, dumbasses, but it is what it is. Hopefully we'll see him back around.
Yeah. So that trade was last year, man. So going from last year to just last week, what happened in college football in y'all opinion that y'all was excited about?
Nothing.
Nothing really, man. I just see people's ass get whooped, bro. So Virginia goes down to fucking Wake Forest of all fucking people. Navy 7-2 versus Notre Dame, who's on a downward spiral, but beat that ass. If it was anybody that was supposed to beat Navy, or Navy was supposed to beat.
Well, Notre Dame is not on a downward spiral; they're on an upward spiral
now. But
because they lost 2 in a row at the beginning of the season, but then now they don't win like 7, 8 in a row, and they're in the playoff competition.
And then number 7, BYU proceeds to get beat up by Texas Tech. I mean, Texas Tech is probably one of the best teams in their conference. So I mean, it just wasn't a great week for, like, as a fan of teams. It wasn't a great week, but for games, I mean, they were good games.
Yeah, man. I mean, I only going to touch on one game. That Indiana and Penn State game, even though Indiana should beat their ass because Penn State been bad all year, it was kind of cool to see Fernando Mendoza, who's apparently, one of the leading candidates in the Heisman race, like for Penn State to take that lead in the fourth quarter, and for Mendoza, which is so crazy, bro, because that's the name of the villain in A Low Down Dirty Shame. But for him to drive the team down for a game-winning touchdown, it just shows, like, I'm really impressed with this Indiana team, y'all, because they made the college football playoffs last year, and they faced Notre Dame in that first round, and it was such an ugly game, and Indiana's offense was just so bad, and they just didn't really play nobody. I feel like this year, Indiana's a better team, man. I feel like Indiana could legitimately win a national title if things break their way because the offense is pretty decent, and the defense is really good, and it seems like they've learned from last year, and they've grown from last year. Like, they don't seem like pretenders. Last year, I thought it was pretenders. This year, I really think they are real actual contenders. And for your quarterback to be able to do that against Penn State, who's still a Power 5 school now, and drive down the field for a game-winning touchdown, that was the issue, if you remember last year with Indiana. That passing offense was just terrible, So if they can actually get that kind of production in the playoffs, yeah, man, I don't see why Indiana can't be one of the last teams standing.
Yeah, we don't remember last year about Indiana because they sucked. They got washed last year, and They standing out this year, and we still don't know who their players are, except for the guy you named. We don't even know him.
Quarterback. That's about it.
I told you he was the villain from a low down dirty shame, Mendoza.
Yeah. So Simpson from Alabama. I think he's leading the Heisman voting, but it's like this year nobody has really stuck out.
No, there's no moments, dog. There's no moments.
There's nobody that's really stuck out for the Heisman, and that's my take on it because only 3 weeks left in the regular season. Texas plays Georgia at in between the hedges, and that's gonna be a good game. Oklahoma plays Alabama. That should be a good game, but Alabama probably the BTA.
Dog walk them.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's gonna be a good match. I hate to say it as a Alabama hater. One of my friends is an Alabama fan, and he said, and even a Georgia fan, dude from Augusta, man, he was like, I fucking hate Alabama, but for some reason it seems like they're the gatekeepers to games. They're a difference maker. If you beat Alabama, it's a difference maker for the record and for the SEC. For some reason, and then I started looking back at games and history, and I'm like, it's kind of true. Sadly, it's true. You beat them, you kind of gotta. It's the gate. That's the gate. That's the key to winning the conference.
Yeah, it's the measuring. They're the measuring stick.
Yeah, man, they are, man. Before we get into next week, man, well, this current week for college football, to your point, Rose, these are the 5 people leading the race. It's, Pavia, the quarterback for Vanderbilt, Jeremiah Smith, the wide receiver from Ohio State, Marcel Reed, the quarterback for Texas A&M, Ty Simpson's number 3, like you just said, number 2, Mendoza, and then number 1 is Julian Sayin, the quarterback for Ohio State. And unfortunately, none of those names stand out, like you said, man. So, as far as this week goes, hopefully someone makes a move to stand out. But when I was looking at the schedule this week, it's 2 games that I looked at and I thought was interesting. South Florida versus Navy, because Navy, I think, is like 7-2. South Florida, I think, is 7-2. Okay, that's 7-3. South Florida is like 7-2. And then the real reason why I'm even touching on this game, from what I saw in the playoff bracket, in the first round, Georgia would face South Florida, which I thought was very interesting because they're ranked, like, I want to say 24. But I guess because they're going to win their conference, that would give them that automatic in.
So not necessarily. It's one out of the there's 5 conferences. James Madison is one in their conference. South Florida is on top in their conference. So it's one out of that. It's like
the non-Power 5.
Yeah. So one of those
is going to get an automatic bid.
It's going to get in.
Okay, then. So it depends on how James Madison finish and USF finish. Okay.
Yeah,
then.
and there's other schools in that mix too.
Okay, then.
Then probably.
But James Madison is in the front running of it right now. They're at the top there because.
Is BYU in the Power 5?
They're in the Big 12. They just lost to the team. You said it. They lost
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested in that game because if that's the case right now, it'll be interesting to see them in the playoffs. Even though I feel like at this current moment Georgia would run through them, but a game that I feel like has real implications: Oklahoma versus Bama, because when they was doing the odds, Oklahoma still has a chance to make the 12-team playoff. Because the way it was set up, it showed you online like teams that are just done and teams that have still a chance if things break a certain way. Oklahoma, if they win this game and they win out and certain teams lose, there's a path for them. Whereas Bama, long as they can finish the season out, they're probably going to be guaranteed a top 4 seed. So this game is going to be big for both teams. And to Rose's point, Ty Simpson, even though he's like number 2 in the Heisman race right now, like him being the starter quarterback for Alabama and beating a team like Oklahoma at the end of the season and probably even winning the SEC title game will be good for him for his Heisman race. So those will be the 2 games this week that I'm probably have my eye on.
Yeah, so I echo Alabama, Oklahoma is going to be one of those games. I've been talking about Oklahoma for the rest of the season. SEC's just 2-pack. There's a lot of shit going on. It's going to be one of the different 2 teams that I feel like are real difference makers. Alabama being the gatekeepers, but Oklahoma being the ones to upset the schedule. Implications with that. Notre Dame, guess they're on the rise. Pitt, number 22, 7-2, same fucking record. This might be upset alert. And then my last one, man, BYU, bubble team, literally bubble team. They're number 12. With a loss to TCU, they'll probably drop down to 13, 14. So implications with that one.
Did you have any games, Rose?
Or name my games.
Okay, then. So moving on to the NFL, y'all. So what happened last week in the NFL that stood out?
Man, what the? Okay, I'm gonna lead it one game to y'all. Y'all might not talk about it. Y'all might. This shit was bad. What the fuck is going on with the Steelers, man? Every week, just when I'm like, okay, we might be doing all right. We might. I get it. It's the Chargers. Yes, one of the best teams in the league right now. Got a great record, great playing pretty decently. But it's like, come on, man. Come on.
That game was ugly to watch.
I thought that's the game you was talking about. You thought we was gonna talk about it because that was the one.
No, I'm talking about another nasty game.
No, that was the only nasty one.
It didn't last.
Monday Night Football was kind of nasty.
Monday night.
But
for anybody,
but that game was nasty to watch.
That game was nasty.
It was hard. It was harmful to your eyes to watch.
Rodgers had 64 yards in the first 3 quarters, and your girl Andy C's hit me up during the game. She was at a ball watching the game, cussing Aaron Rodgers out because she's a Steelers fan apparently.
This shit is over. Throwing in the towel, throwing in the season. You're fucking done. I'm not watching any more fucking games. Maybe. No, I'm not even doing that. Fuck the Ravens.
Rose, this nigga lying.
I'm not watching them shit.
Shut up, Black.
Hold on.
Shout out to Vontazius. He said that the Ravens are going to come back and take the lead within maybe 4 weeks ago, a month ago. He said that. And I was like, man, I think the Steelers might have a chance. He said, you think Aaron Rodgers is going to be in it? I was like, oh, no, probably not.
Oh, yeah, for a while, it wasn't just Rodgers. Now it's him too. But also, Monday Night Football. For anybody that says that shit was boring, I agree. What the fuck is going on this season, yo? I'm saying, to me, this shit is like
defense is back. Defense is back. Defense is back, bro. Defense is back. These teams are playing defense.
I am willing to admit I was wrong on San Francisco. I was way fucking wrong. What the fuck was up with that one too? I was like this shit was like I'm like okay, it's okay, it's cool. You're not wrong yet, and then they proceed to beat down.
Yeah, I think Monday night game wasn't the fact that it was defense. I think the Monday night game showed that 2 unpolished quarterbacks that just have moments, that get away with their moments. Both of these quarterbacks get away with their moments. You know what I'm saying? And because they're black, that we give them a pass lots of times. But they get away with just their moments because lots of times they don't play the quarterback position the way it's supposed to be played. But they get away with it with their moments. And Monday night showed like, y'all ain't getting away with this. But they still got away with it because they got dynamics. The Eagles, they got dynamic players on the outside and behind and in the running back position. But Jalen Hurts, he showed why people were skeptical of him yesterday, but he's much better than this. I remember me and Vertiza was talking before the season started, and he was like, man, Jalen Hurts, man, he's gonna have one of the best seasons ever. And I'm like, nah, man, I don't think so, man, because he was like, man, he got nothing else to prove. He don't want a Super Bowl. He can play free. And I'm like, nah, I don't know. And he's playing like, man, I don't know. And I just don't know. And Love, people keep praising all his stuff when he has a good games, but their defense is playing excellent. But he's the one doing dumb stuff. They keep doing dumb stuff. And I hate to say it, like, there's not one person other than Lamar, but Lamar got to show up in the playoffs. There's not one person other than Lamar that plays great in the regular season all the time until the marbles are on the line. And I'm hoping that this is his year because the Chiefs are looking vulnerable, but they look vulnerable, but they look way better than they did last year. They look way better than they did last year, but they looking vulnerable.
Yeah, that just shows you how bad they was last year. The Bills look vulnerable too.
Yes. And they show you how bad it was, and they still made the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because they got that guy.
Yeah, man, they got that man, bro.
Is he really?
Man,
yes.
Man, the words of Lamar Jackson, mama, there go that man.
He the best quarterback in the league by far. Yeah. And they get away with a lot of stuff because of him. And because of the way Andy Reid calls plays and things like that.
You got to watch the Chiefs game.
But they get away with a lot of stuff.
If you just look at the box score, you won't understand it. But Mahomes makes plays in the game. That's the difference between them winning and losing. It just don't show up in the box score, unfortunately. But, man, hey, Patriots and Bucks last week, I told you that was probably going to be the game, you know, that we're going to be talking about, man. That was a very great game. 2 number 1 teams slugging it out. Baker played amazing. You know,
I watched that game. It wasn't amazing. Patriots beat that BTA.
Yeah, but hey, Baker came back on them. Like it made it an interesting game.
The game was over. I watched it.
It's over.
The game was over.
Hey man,
it's over. You know how they say the score makes it look better than it was. It really wasn't that close. It really wasn't that close.
But that just shows you how good the Patriots were and how good Drake May is, man. It's time to really start talking about Drake May in this MVP discussion, man. Like, you know, 270 yards, man, 2 TDs, man. He really did his thing. And then, you know, for those in fantasy who drafted Trayvon Henderson, the rookie running back for the Patriots, he finally really showed up and showed out.
Drafted him. They got him off waivers.
Now, I drafted that nigga in the league. I drafted that nigga in a couple leagues, bro. Then I dropped his ass.
Exactly, not knowing. knowing.
No, I drafted him thinking that he was going to be the guy. But when Mahan Stevenson kept getting the ball the first couple of games, I was like, man, y'all not even using this nigga, man. I need this spot for another person. Now I'm mad I dropped the nigga, man.
Loser.
Yes. You know, but hey, man, he showed the fuck out, man. So, yeah, that's shout out to them. And, you know, I want to highlight another player in the game. And Bouquet, the receiver for the Bucks, man, like he's probably going to win Rookie of the Year. I can't think of another rookie who's been as good as he's been because Bouquet is not just Rookie of the Year. Like, bro, he's playing like a top 5 receiver this season, man. He's been that good. So shout out to him and shout out to those who saw this coming out of Ohio State. And then you talked about Lamar. Man, Lamar just found another way to win, man. Like when he went down and they said he was going to come back, I felt like the Ravens could catch the Steelers in that division because I just didn't really believe in the Steelers. And the Steelers are 5-4. The Ravens are 4-5. And then they still got 2 games left now. Against each other. So they got to play each other twice. So I don't know, can this Steelers team beat Lamar 2 times? And I think the Ravens going to win that division. The performance they had against the Vikings, they held that offense in check. The Ravens offense did not look great in the first couple quarters, but they kind of got away, you know, in the fourth quarter and did what they were supposed to do. But I definitely feel like, yeah, we these next couple weeks, it's going to be really exciting for a division like the NFC North, because I want to say the Bengals are 3-6. So none of these teams, all these teams are pretty much very close in terms of the division. Any of them can win, but if I had to pick right now, I believe in Lamar Jackson and what he can do long as he's healthy the rest of this year. And since he's came back from that injury, he's looked great. As far as this week, man, you know, I'm gonna pick it back up with the Bucks, man. You know, the Bucks.
Echo.
You faced the first place team in the AFC East last week. Guess what they got to do this week, y'all? They faced the second place team in the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills. The Bills coming off an ugly loss to Tua and the Dolphins. Y'all got to win. But like this is like, hey, if we had a segment called Must Win, both these teams got to win. Because Buffalo, you can't lose another game knowing that you only got one game left against the Patriots, and you already like a game back with the Patriots having the tiebreaker because they won. So now this will place you 2 games back. Then on top of that, you got the Bucks, who the Panthers, I want to say, is right at like 5 and they lost last week, right? So that's, or did they win? The Panthers.
No, they lost to the Saints, like I said.
So the Panthers are 5-5, so they're like a game behind the Bucks. So it's like, you know, hey, you got a little bit of breathing room, but you can't just get too comfortable. As well as, man, you're playing for playoff seeding, like to get to the number 2, the number 3 seed. So you got to try to win. And it's so crazy because we was talking about Baker as the MVP early in the year, and that conversation has just been extinguished. So I feel like that's going to be a big game. And then, man, you was talking about the Chiefs, Rose, Chiefs Broncos. The Broncos have looked like the best team in the motherfucking AFC West. That defense is that's probably the best defense in the league. I can't even lie to y'all, man. That's probably
I think so. Because Riley Moss is probably the defensive player of the year.
Exactly. That secondary, you cannot throw. Hey, shout out to the white boy. He good though. Rose being funny. That white boy good though.
The white boy is playing defense.
White boy got an AR. White boy good. But that defense is like amazing. If there's one side of the ball I'm afraid of facing the playoffs. Like if you tell me out of all the 32 teams, what side of the ball I'm most afraid of, it's that Broncos defense. Because I don't know is there an offense that can get you 25 points against that defense, just you can lock it in. Because they can hold most teams in the league to 10 points. And as y'all know how the NFL is, when the game is that close and it's that ugly, it just takes a bounce here, a bounce there, a missed field goal, a turnover for you to lose and win a game. And that's the formula for the Broncos with the Chiefs. They're the number 3. They're number 3 team in that division right now. The Broncos number 1, the Chargers are number 2, and then the Chiefs are right number 3. This is the time for the Chiefs to turn that little turbo on, man. If there's a time, if you got another gear, Pat, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice, it's time for y'all to get in that gear and for y'all to go ahead and make y'all push to win that division. Because ever since Pat been a startup for the Chiefs, they've always won a division in the AFC West. Bro, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I don't know if they're going to win a division this year because I just don't know where the losses for the Broncos going to come from. And the Chiefs got to beat them to get them one of them losses, man. So this is a game I think that's going to have major implications. Because I definitely know, I say this right here, you don't want to face Denver in Denver. Like if the Denver can get a number 1, number 2 seed, don't nobody in the AFC want to face Denver in Denver.
That's true. I'm gonna pick one game, man. Seattle Rams. Seattle coming off a short win off last week. They just look kind of good. They look pretty damn good. And the Rams are the Rams, man. They're playing. LA is playing good fucking football.
You know they got both the quarterbacks in the MVP discussion, Darnold and Stafford.
So I mean, Stafford doing his fucking thing. So I mean, hey, this is one to watch out for. That's my pick of the week, man. Seattle Rams.
Yeah, mine. I'm going Bengals, Steelers because as far as the Bengals have been, they still in condition to win their division too.
Yeah.
They're still in because
that's Smoking Joe.
Yeah, because they 3-6. Baltimore 4-5.
Yep.
Steelers 5-4. So technically they're only 2.5 games back, but really one because I think didn't the Bengals beat the Steelers?
I think the Bengals beat the Steelers because remember Mike Tomlin was mad about the Browns trading Joe Flacco there.
Yeah. So they're really only 1 game behind, even though they're 2 games behind in the loss column. So they're really only 1 game behind. So that division is starting to look a little sketchy.
You're very competitive.
Yeah, but the game of the week is going to be the Lions and the Eagles, Sunday Night Football.
I forgot about that game. That is going to be a good game.
Both of them, Eagles 7-2, Lions 6-3. Lions coming off a good win. Dan Campbell took over play calling duties, and I didn't even know he was an offensive coach. I thought he was a defensive coach, but I guess he's an offensive coach, unless he just one of the best head coaches ever in the league.
Nah. He was because he started as a tight ends coach.
Yeah, so he's taking over play calling right now. So hey, man, so we gonna see. And the Eagles, they got to start doing something. I believe they go let the ball fly, and I think Saquon gonna have a big game too. It's gonna be. I think this game's gonna be not a snoozer like the last one with the defense. I think it's gonna be an offensive game, and I think the Lions have to show that they're one of those teams because if they lose this game, They're not going to be. They're done.
Confidence in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're going to be done. Like they're going to have to. They're going to be done because there's so many other teams that's rolling right now.
The NFC is nasty work right now, man. It's a lot of teams in the NFC that can come out right now, man. The Bucks, the Seahawks, the Rams. You still got the 49ers contention.
Bears got the same. Bears is tied up with the first place in their division. I think they might be in first place.
The Packers probably got the best defense in the conference, bro. So yeah, the NFC is definitely going to be very competitive, man. Final thoughts, everyone.
Before the season even started, man, NBA, a lot of people were saying Westbrook might not have a chance to be in the league. Well, if this is his last season, I'm glad to see the brother go out on his terms. It's probably not his last, but I'm giving you your flowers now, dude. To me, you're a Hall of Famer. You don't have a chip. You're probably not going to get one. But not everybody, like, you ain't got to be one of the best to have that. Like, you don't have to have a chip to be one of the best. But you did your thing in the fucking game for the NBA. Congratulations, bro. Appreciate your career, and I'm giving you your flowers now, man. Shout out to Westbrook, and happy birthday, dude.
Hey, man, that's what's up, bro. I didn't know it was his birthday, man. Hey, man, so in 1989, Paul Tagliabue became the commissioner of the NFL. You know, as someone who's a big football fan, and I used to watch NFL Network and study, you know, the history of the NFL, like that was a name that I always heard and a name that I realized was very important to the league. In 2006 is when he basically gave up them duties to Roger Goodell, who's the current commissioner. These are the things he did accomplish as commissioner of the league. And you can honestly compare him to David Stern in terms of why the NFL reached the heights it's at right now. It went from 28 to 32 teams. The Panthers, Jags, Browns, and Texans / Ravens, because they moved Cleveland, you know, around and all that stuff, all came into the league underneath him. He started games in Europe, so that Europe expansion that you see us doing today, he actually was the commissioner who first had a game in Europe. LA Rams moved to St. Louis. The LA Raiders moved to Oakland. The Houston Oilers became the Tennessee Titans. 9/11, he actually made a decision to cancel games the very next week, so there was no games after that. And it was the first time the games had been missed since they had the strike in the 80s. And he made a decision to be like, we're not going to play games. This is, to me, as a black man, very important. Back in the 90s, when Arizona was supposed to host the Super Bowl, Arizona was the last state to recognize MLK, and they still was not recognizing MLK as a holiday, MLK's birthday. He literally stepped in and said, we're taking the Super Bowl away from y'all because we're not going to have the Super Bowl in an area that is that racist. And he did that as commissioner, and this is a white man who did that. He made sure the Saints returned because after Katrina, there was a lot of owners who wanted the Saints to leave New Orleans. And he was like, no, New Orleans is a very powerful city. The Saints mean something to that city. We need the Saints to stay there. When he was retired, Roger Goodell hired him to hear the Bountygate allegations, if you remember that. And he basically overturned a lot of Roger Goodell's findings in terms of the suspensions for the players and was like, yeah, this stuff did happen, but these players should not be held accountable. This is more so on the coach. Because if you remember, there was like 6 players that had got suspended, including Darren Sharper, Super Bowl winner Darren Sharper, and he overturned a lot of those suspensions. He was a big advocate for black people, civil rights, and gays. He made the Hall of Fame in 2020. And for those who know Art Shell, who's a Hall of Fame offensive lineman for the Raiders back in the day, and he was the longest tenured player to be the head of the Players Association. That's who inducted him in the Hall of Fame, man. Paul Tagliabue passed away this past week. You know, we have to acknowledge the contributions that owners and people like him, who was a commissioner, make to some of these sports leagues. Like I said, David Stern, if we acknowledge that David Stern is the reason why the NBA is where it's at today, I feel like as an NFL fan, we have to acknowledge that Paul is the reason why the NFL is where it's at today. In the words that, shout out to the Mamba.
Gotta.
Mr. DJ Rose, Vert Cheesy, and C's, welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. I'm sure MLK and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap your seatbelt, go and settle land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell our land. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love us as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.